Hello, everyone. This is Tanya from Professor Tanya Speaks. And this is just a very quick video. I pray to God it is. But I just want to show you how to use visuals in your reports and in your speeches also. When we're talking about business communication, we want to make sure that the visuals we use make sense. And we want to make sure that it's appropriate for a business context. So let me show you what is required in terms of visuals. And I'm going to show you a PowerPoint from Guffey's textbook, which is provided for instructors. So hang on and let me show you what you need to be thinking in terms of when you do your reports or when you do your oral presentations. Okay, so this is what you want to keep in mind. You can either use a table, as you see here. Very simple table where you have the numbers laid out. When you want to show exact figures and you want to show values, then the table is your best bet. Now, the next thing you can do is use a bar chart. And as you look at the bar chart, you can probably guess why a bar chart makes sense. When you want to compare one item to another, the bar chart is your friend, because once the audience looks at the bar chart, they can see and they can make the comparison for themselves. Now, remember, a bar chart can be vertical, it can be horizontal, it can be grouped, or it can be segmented. But the length of each bar and segment should be proportional. And if you're ever dealing with dollar or percentage amounts, they should always start at 0. And remember, once there's going to be a visual comparison, you need to do a bar chart. Now, you may also want to show like a quantitative data change over time. And if that's the case, the line chart is the best thing to do, as you can see here, because that shows the changes very nicely. You may also want to do a pie chart. And anytime you want to tell proportions of a whole, you use a pie graph or a pie chart. And it makes it very easy for your audience to see the proportions once again. And it generally begins at the 12 o'clock position. And on each wedge, you want to put the value or the percentage. Now, there's also a flow chart. You may choose to use a flow chart because you want to show the process or the procedure in anything. You know, you may want to show how things work and you just want to show a step-by-step process. This is your best bet, a flow chart. Now, if you're talking about like a company, some kind of organization, and you want to show the hierarchy, then you're better off with one of these organization charts. So that's another visual that you can use. Now, one of the things that students like a lot are pictures, because a picture, we all know, a picture is worth 1,000 words. But if the picture is not helping to give us information, do not use a picture. Because usually we want to use a picture when we want to illustrate something. So let's say you want to show a location, you know? Yeah. Or let's say you want your audience to see a picture or an illustration or a map or a photograph or something that they don't know or they may not be familiar with. Let's say you wanted to show 2 geographical areas and you want to show the distance, you want to show the whatever. If that's the case, then it's time to use a picture. Okay? Now, one thing you want to keep in mind is whenever you're writing your report, we want to hear about the visual before we see the visual. We shouldn't see a pie chart and then you talk about the pie chart after. You should first talk about the pie chart, and then we see the pie chart after. Now, all of this is in the Guffey or the Bovee, but I'm just bringing it to you and just showing you because sometimes, it's a little bit easier when you see. So keep that in mind. Now, you always want to evaluate your audience first. You're not just going to just throw in a visual. It has to be a visual that is respectful of the audience's age and intellectual abilities, right? So you don't want to put in a graph or a pie chart or something that is too complicated for them to understand. And you don't want to ever use a visual that will make people think, really? You think I'm a 5-year-old? So always be aware of your audience. Audience awareness, as usual, is necessary. You also need to use restraint. Don't just put visuals in and overdo it. So use restraint. It also must be accurate and ethical. Not because you want to prove a point means you're just going to throw in something that doesn't quite represent what you're saying, but you're hoping. Because you never ever want it to be said that you're not ethical. You never want that said. Okay? And then you have to introduce the graph meaningfully. Remember in the video where we spoke about incorporating sources, it's the same thing. You make a point, you introduce the graph, and then at the end of it, you make another point and you tie it all together. Okay? And whatever graph you use, it must always have a caption or a title. And if you're using graphs in your PowerPoint for your oral presentation, make sure that there is not too much information on any slide, and make sure that you use a huge font so that people can see easily. Now, I know right now we're online, so it doesn't seem as important, but it still is important. And then there will come a time when we will be face-to-face again. I've been in many oral presentations for students, and I'm at the back of the class, and even with my glasses on, I cannot see anything because they're using a 12-point font, which is what you use when you're writing. Like when you're typing and it's in a report or, but if you're talking about having an audience, especially if it's a big enough audience, you always want to make sure that your visuals are clear and clearly seen. So that's it for today on using visuals. And I hope this will help you to make better choices with your visuals. So thank you for watching. And until I see you the next time, remember to like. I keep forgetting to tell you to like, share, comment, and subscribe, and click on the notification bell. So I'll see you in the next video. So bye for now.